Hey everybody, welcome to the SwingBadder Texas Ranger wrap-up. I'm your host Brendan, and joined as always is Aidan. Aidan is now in his wonderful summer break, so he gets to watch so many Ranger games. And I will just tell you something. I have this little thing called the Batter 5. You may have seen it on battersports.com. The Rangers and Nationals played the Batter 5 game of the week on Sunday. The loser makes it to the Batter 5. The Rangers won. That's why they weren't in the Batter 5, but they were right there this week. So close.
Once again.
So you may be noticing a theme with your team, but the biggest thing that I continue to notice is they just not interested in scoring.
Yeah, that it's been the theme the whole season. And frankly, if you had a batter 5 for the top 5 worst players of the week, Marcus Semien would be in that list, and other Rangers would be in that list very consistently. But it is nice to see that Marcus Semien would probably be in the top 5 this week, because I think he has the highest OPS of any player since May 30th, my birthday. So it's going pretty well for him right now. Return to the mean, as my dad says. And hopefully he can keep this up. I mean, his OPS is still abysmal overall, but
Well, why don't
he's
you just give
definitely
us
on the run.
what happened this week? How did they start the week? Again, I agree with you. Marcus has been playing much better, but when you're talking about how bad all these players have played, they need to play a lot better to get back to themselves.
Yeah. I mean, lately Bruce Bochy's been trying to do a lot of things with the lineup. He's been bringing a bunch of rookies up. He brought Ozuna up. Haggerty has been playing in center. Garcia was benched for a little bit. Semien was benched a while ago. Carter has been playing a little bit, and that's what he did on this road trip. And this is a 6-game road trip, and today is a 1-day rest, and then we're going to play the Twins next week. And this week we played the Rays. Of course, we got swept, and we do not talk about how we lost the last game because we just don't talk about it. It was a
The
little
Rays, by the
embarrassing.
way, had one of the better weeks. Sweeping a team is always good, but the Rays are one of the teams, just so you know, has never been in the Batter 5 all year long.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
35 and 30.
Yes, there are
They
some
don't have a
teams
bad record.
that they don't have the greatest of records. There's some odd teams that never made the Batter 5. Again, it's the worst of the week, and the Rangers seem to flirt with that more often than not. So yes, they start the week 0-3. If you're a Batter 5 fan and you're cheering for the Rangers to be there, you're feeling pretty good.
And then we play the Nationals.
Mm.
First game, we lose because, of course, we do. And then the second game, we win 5-0, which is a great because, Semien did well that game.
Yep.
Got some runs on the board. Once again, we pitched a shutout. And then yesterday was a bullpen day. All of our bullpen pitchers went and pitched. Gave up 2 runs in 9 innings, which is pretty good for a bullpen day. And we won 4-2. So we scored 9 runs over the 3 games in the series, which is still averaging 3 runs a game, which is still not what we want. And the last time we've scored more than 4 runs was, looks like June 1st against the Cardinals, in which we scored 8.
You just said the last time we scored more than you said 3 or 4 runs.
Actually, no, we did score 5 against the Nationals
Oh,
on
okay.
Saturday.
Yes,
But
that's
every
true.
other game we scored 4 or lower. It's just, you
I'm
really wish that every series you'd have a game in which you'd score more than 5 runs.
I do remember back to the Rockies. I mean, but you had that series against the Rockies, and I was talking to you like, this is the time you score a lot of runs. Your run differential looks a lot better. And they were not doing that against the Rockies. And I was like, this is a like, everyone looks at the Rockies. Like, if you get a contract or you're in a contract year, or you're looking at your stats, you're like, yeah, I need to go 4 for 4. I need to bat like 500 in this series, get like 3 home runs, get about 10 RBIs, like pad the stats because it's not every day you get like an team ERA of a 6.5 showing up to the showing up to the party. So like this is like just it just has been I don't even know how to say it. It's just like throwing bad money after bad money. And the thing is, if you look at the Rangers themselves as a team and as a organization, the dollars spent on this offense. I know we've talked a little bit about that. It's just like just burning. You just might as well burn your money.
Yeah, it's like all of our. You would looking at our team, you would think that we dedicated all of our money to our pitching and good defensive players, and the results show that our top three pitchers have a combined ERA of 1.91: Degrom, Maley, and Eovaldi. But our offense is like worse than the Rockies. I mean, it's abysmal.
And Corey Seager has not even shown up this year.
Yeah, he's just been injured and dealing with that hamstring, which is an issue that I pointed out a while ago, and sure enough, it's manifested itself. But he has come back and played in a few games, but he has not looked like himself at the plate, which is not the first time I've said that this season about anybody on this team.
But I think the thing that I'm noticing with Corey is it's not just his numbers across the board are really like I'm wondering if it's not just that there's other things here because his hamstring didn't show up for a while, but he was not his stats have never jumped off the table and for a shortstop, and especially an elite shortstop, which is what they paid him to be. I mean, this is a huge deal, and him and Marcus are like that core group of
Yeah.
offensive guys, and it's just not been good at all.
Because I remember in 2022 when we signed Semien, and then 23 when we got Seager, it was like this is supposed to be these two guys are the backbone of this offense, and all the other young players are going to be the guys that we build off of, to create a good Rangers team for the next decade. And what it's kind of turned to be is like Semien and Seager they did their job, they won the World Series, and now they've just like fallen off, and all the young players still haven't developed to be consistent. And you can look at, frankly, any rookie in the Rangers lineup and point to evidence of that. And so it's almost like we're kind of in this, I don't know, mid-tier zone in which the old guys are not producing and the young guys are not producing, and we're just waiting for that to balance out, and it just hasn't happened. Or maybe it
Right.
already had with the World Series, and we're just done with it.
So I'm a big fan of like jumping into the mind of these individuals. So if you look at the whole point that they signed with the Rangers, both Corey and Marcus, for instance, they signed with them to help give you a World Series. They achieved the World Series very early. You could even argue ahead of schedule, especially I think
Yeah.
DeGrom wasn't even pitching in that season at all. He was
Yeah.
injured. So everyone signed to make it to the World Series. Then they get the World Series, and last year was a dud.
Yeah.
And this year is a dud. So I have no problem with the second year after the World Series being a dud. That typically, you enjoy the off season, you're celebrating, things are great. But the second year for it to be this bad, I'm wondering if it's like we did it. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, how
Maybe it's
much?
just time to reset.
But the problem is, you're not going to reset with these contracts.
Yeah.
Because when you look at when you look at the contracts that you have, Corey Seager's getting $32.5 million. Marcus is getting $26 million this year. So you've shored up, $60 million in those two
Yeah.
guys, and I don't think either of them are like over 250 right now. I don't. I mean, I need to look at the stats of the Rangers, but I think the stats on this is just not pretty for the Rangers team.
Yeah, their combined OPS, Seager and Simeon's, is like 660, which is way below league average. And those
60
guys are getting
million.
paid like elite hitters, and they are batting like the polar opposite.
What is their RBI total between the two of them? Because I think Corey Seager
Let's see.
is out to lunch.
Their RBI total is 39.
Oh, and now it's
Through 70 games.
it's a combined. That's
Yes.
combined everybody.
Now that is
That's not
with
one of them. I don't even care if one of them got hurt.
they've played in a total of 100 games and they've gotten 37 RBI. That's shocking. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was that bad.
It's so bad. That's 100 games, man. That is so. Oh, it's just terrible. Yeah, I'm
I'm
looking
almost
at.
embarrassed talking about these guys.
They have
I mean, I should be, but
12 home runs in total. In total. And Seager has the 12 RBIs on 15 runs scored. And I know he's played less games, but dear Lord in heaven, this is not a what you signed up for. In his I think this is his third year with the club.
Seagers, yes.
Bad news. The good news is Seager's only played 35 games in the year. The bad
Yeah.
news is he's looked bad in those 35 games.
But again, like you don't pay a guy $30 million a year to play in 70 games. Especially someone who's a shortstop, who really should be a regular in the lineup. And the Seager did that in 23, and it was really great. And even last year, that's what he did. He was a consistent guy in the lineup. He had, I think, an OPS in the mid 800s, which is very, very good for a shortstop. And he was one of the more productive guys in the team, if not the most productive. And now this year, just not happening.
Yeah, I think what's crazy about the Rangers when I look at this season is it's I do like what Todd has said about them is they continue to show like they have the DeGrom syndrome. DeGrom, whenever he
Yes.
pitches, or even like Randy Johnson back in the day. Randy Johnson
Yeah.
was such an intense pitcher that the offense really choked around Randy Johnson because they couldn't talk in the dugout like they normally do. They couldn't be loose, and the hitters kind of need to be loose. And so they weren't like feeling it. So when they played with Randy Johnson, they'd score 1 or 2 runs because Randy Johnson pitched so angrily. And so no one could talk to him. He was always upset. But he's giving you 18 strikeouts, 15 strikeouts on a regular basis. So I mean, he sets the rules. If he's like,
Yeah.
no one's chewing gum this game, no one is chewing gum. When I look at the Rangers, it's like you guys have really good pitching, but it's almost like I hats off to Bruce for trying. But man, he's the manager you're watching these games on TV. He is the manager who's watching batting practice and he's getting all the scouting reports. He's reviewing everything with these guys on iPads. He's like, "Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing what's happening?" Like, you are a better player than this. Clearly, we signed you to be a better player. What is going on?
It's almost like an anomaly or a Twilight Zone episode. It's just it makes so little sense when you look at it from a bigger picture. Because I think I mentioned this before, but basically everybody on this team is having the worst offensive season of their entire careers. That's happening with Jock Peterson, it's happening with Berger, it's happening with Semien, Seager. Frankly, it's happening with all the young guys too. Like they were better last year. Langford has batted like 150 over the past couple weeks. He's in a severe slump. Smith is not playing the way that he used to. I mean, it's kind of like half the lineup goes into a severe slump, and then there's the other 3 or 4 guys that are doing okay, and then there's the one guy that's hot, and an offense just can't function in that constant fluctuating state of mediocrity.
I find it interesting because it's not like there's a lot of runs being scored by by in this division. Because that's the other thing is if you were in the AL Central, nice knowing you. Like it's like
Yeah.
first off, Detroit's running away with it, right? But not only
Yeah.
that, it's like the other teams are all have above 500 records. In the AL
Yeah.
West, the Astros are 36-29. They've only scored 261 runs. The Rangers are 221. The Mariners are 282. The Angels are 270. The Athletics lead the entire division in runs scored with 289. You had that in your book, right? When we started this season, you said the Athletics in the AL West will have the most runs scored after 60 some games. So it's 289's not ripping the ball out of the ballpark in 60 some games. They've allowed 404 runs, which is why the A's are as bad as they are.
Yeah.
They have no pitching. But the difference between like I look at this and I'm like the Astros have 261 runs scored and 238 runs against. And they're 36-29. So it's not like they're that much better. Situationally, sure, they may be better, but it's like this is not a huge dial. Like when I look at like the Detroit Tigers are 325 runs scored. Like that's a different world.
Yeah.
You're not in that world. But you're only 40 runs is a lot of runs. But at the same time, it's like, dear God in heaven, this division is 36-29 is the Astros. 33-31 is the Seattle Mariners. And I look at the last 10. The Astros are 6-4, and they're running away with it at 6-4. Seattle's 3-7. Rangers are 4-6. Los Angeles Angels are 5-5. The A's are 3-7. This division is for the taking if someone wants to decide to play and get hot, but it's just not happening. And in their division on the batter 5, which the Astros are the only team in their division that hasn't ended up in the batter 5. Which is, again, wild to me because Seattle made it again this week. And I keep waiting for Seattle to figure it out. They're a way better team than this. The Rangers are a way better team than this. The fact that the Rangers have been 3 times and Seattle has been on the list 3 times. The A's have only been on the list 3 times. The Angels, each team has been on this list 3 times other than the Astros. The AL West is stinky this year.
It's a dumpster fire, you could say.
And then I look at the Central. And again, I dabbled in all this ideas of predictions. I like the Tigers. The Tigers have 43 wins. The Twins have 35. Cleveland has 34. Kansas City has 34. Those are all teams above 500. And the White Sox have 22. They're not playing terrible. Thank you, Rockies, for showing us that. But this AL West, you're getting one team in. You're getting one team in.
Yeah.
If you get 2 teams in, whatever team flipped it. Because these teams right now, as they have played for 60 games, and we still have another 100 games of baseball, a team has got to transform themselves on the AL West to get a wild card. And I know they're not far off. The Mariners are a game and a half back on the wild card. The Rangers and the Angels are 4.5. So it's not like it's unbelievable it can't be done. It totally can be done. But as this continues the way it's been going, it's pretty brutal. The other thing to note, I think they played a good amount of teams above 500. So I don't know. You're watching the games. You got to tell me if you see any hope coming. I mean, Marcus has shown some hope in the last week or two, hitting some home runs.
I mean, we keep going back to the idea that this is what the Rangers are now. And hope is kind of diminishing that would say otherwise because the offense continues, as we've said a million times, to be bad. And the pitching continues to be good, which is honestly what's surprising. And this team is almost like a block on its incline plane, and there's a coefficient of status friction between the block and the incline plane to get this team rolling down the slope, and it just hasn't clicked, and every other team is just rolling, and the Rangers are still stuck at the starting line. What even is a block?
It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all. It's I know we took a week off last week to not talk about them, but they started 0-4 this week. They won the last 2 games. Who are they facing this week? What's their big schedule? Are they home? Are they away? Because that actually is a big deal. They're a better home team than they are a road team.
Yes, we are at Twins, 3-game series, and then we go back home and play the White Sox. So my prediction is we go 4-2.
Well, that is a bold prediction considering this team above 500 on a week would be very, very impressive. These offensive stats that the Rangers are giving you are just I wonder if their average game time to play a baseball game for the
so
season
short.
is got to be.
I think it's the lowest it's ever been.
Is it trending for records? Is that one of the selling points for the Ranger fans? Is come here, we're a 2-hour game.
I think we had an hour and 50-minute one against the Nationals. And it was, the game that we played against the Nationals, which we lost 0-2, that was the shortest game in Nationals history. An hour and 50 minutes.
Just come in, get a soda, get a hot dog, sit down, and you'll be gone.
Yeah.
I laughed because the Diamondbacks had a game, and thankfully I took my dad to the game before this one, but they had a game recently where the Nationals were visiting when they were in that hot streak of scoring a lot. The first inning, I think they had 9 or 10 runs. It was an hour, before the Diamondbacks got up. Just so you know.
Meantime, the Rangers game is through the 7th inning.
And the Diamondback fans cheered when they got to get 3 outs in the first inning. They cheered after the first out because I think it was 8-0 before they got an out. So you can imagine like how long that game was just based on the first inning. So we struggle to hold teams from scoring, which therefore our games are much longer. Your games are so concise because you're not hitting. The teams facing you don't hit. And I think it's like the chances of a Rangers playing shutout baseball, either they get shut out or the team gets shut out, I think is pretty high. If you look at their schedule.
There was a stat that my dad told me. It's that the Rangers games this year have averaged like 6.4 runs combined for both teams, which is the lowest it's the lowest that's ever been, and since the stat was started being recorded.
You're saying
in order for that,
both teams on average
combined. The combined score of both teams per game is averaged at 6.4. So that means on average, like an average game will be 3-4, or 5-2, or 4-4, 5-4-5.
Yeah, I mean they're not even seeing a team. Again, is you're pitching, all pitching. You make the other team pitch better. I gotta look at the schedule of when they played You're making me want to go back and look at when they played the Rockies. Oh, here we go. They did play the Rockies. Here's their 3-tilt game against the Rockies. They won 2-1. That's three runs, right? You said 6-4. The second game they won 4-1. 5, still 5. Lower. Then the last game they won 8-3. So in total, they scored 14 runs. The Rockies scored 5. It's 19. You're right at the 6.
Yep.
And that's the Rockies.
Yes. We should be scoring, at least 7 runs a game off.
The Rockies are averaging. I got to do some hard math here. Let's look at the Rockies. So here, do this in your head. The Rockies have allowed 402 runs so far this season, and they have played a total of 65 games. 402 runs, which is leading all of baseball by a lot.
That's about 6.2 runs they're just allowing a game.
They are allowing. And you are combining 6-4. Yes. So the Rockies show up, and this is why I say they're the stat king, right? You're playing the Rockies. Get your runs scored, get your RBIs, get your stolen bases, get your home runs, get them all. Because the Rockies are here to give them to you. And what's crazy is they're second to the A's. The A's have allowed 404. So the A's, I think the A's the A's have got to be it. So the A's have got to be the highest, and the Rangers have to be the lowest because the A's have scored 289 and they've allowed 404 over the course of 67 games. So combined is 289 and 404, which is
that's averaging 10.4 runs.
And if you go to an A's game, you're seeing runs.
Yeah.
The fans are seeing runs.
And that's kind of what you want to see.
So when the Rangers face the A's, that is when greatness collides. Because something's got to give.
Yeah.
And if if it's 2-1, 8, like you play some really bad teams. Like there's going to be some bad teams. But when you play the A's, which you have to play, and when you play the Rockies, oh dear. Okay, I'm going back in time here. They played the A's at the end of May. So they lost 3-0 to the A's. They lost 7-1. They won 15-2, and they lost 2-1. So even with the A's, you still had a 2-1 game in there. And you went 1-3 against the A's. You've played them twice already.
What was the second time or first time?
You went 1-2 on the other time. You beat them 8-5.
Oh my gosh!
Lost 2-5. Lost 3-4. So 7 runs.
To be fair, that was when they were pretty hot.
Oh yeah, no, you faced them at the wrong time, my friend.
Yeah.
Luckily for the Rangers, they're the same all year long. They haven't been hot. They haven't been cold. They're literally the 5-5 Rangers.
Yep. And it's honestly starting to get bad for the fans too, because you come to these games and it's like a guy hits a 3-run home run, and it's like, congratulations, you've lost the game. Whereas in other teams, pretty much any other team, a guy hits a 3-run home run, it's like, great, let's get over
Yep.
this. Let's rally together as a team. Let's do this. Let's get hyped. Let's get excited. The fans are there. They're excited. They're ready to see some offense. With the Rangers, it's just like, well, they hit a 2-run home run. Might as well lead. Insurmountable lead.
J- just so you know, we're talking about professional sports, everybody. Because when I watch, like, you've watched Little League, when I watch my kids play a hockey game and there's a bad goalie, once that one goal happens, you're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
this is not good. We only scored 2 goals a game, so if he lets in another one, I think we know what's going to happen. I think we know how this is going to go. Everybody knows that. You're talking about professionals. Like, they hit a 2-run home run, the whole entire stadium's like, I don't know if this looks pretty daunting. It's,
Yeah.
it's almost like if I were to say, I need you to walk around the block today. I don't know. I've been really, really busy. The block is looking really hard to walk around. This is Twins, White Sox. This is an interesting month. So here's your month. Ready? So you play the Twins. You have a lot of games at home. The White Sox at home. The Royals at home. You're at the Pirates. You're at the Orioles. Then you face off against the Mariners, and that's your last series before you get into the month of July. And there's a lot. To me, there's a lot of wins there.
Yeah.
But the
Pirates,
Rangers,
pretty
the
bad.
Rangers are like, no, we're gonna take that back. We don't want those wins. We don't want that.
We should average taking 2 games of the White Sox, Pirates, and Orioles, frankly. If we don't win against the Mariners and the Royals, fine. But Pirates, Orioles, Twins, or Pirates, Orioles, White Sox, we need those. Like, if we want the season, because by the end of June, we'd basically be halfway through the season. And if we don't get those wins, it truly will be just what we are. We're a team with a historically bad offense, but also historically good pitching. An incredible combo, which makes it very exciting to watch games because you know that it's going to be a nail biter to the end, but not for the right reason.
Yeah, 47% winning percentage. This is not. There's too many series being lost. It's not that pretty.
There's just no momentum that we're riding off of right now. The offense just has like no energy. And what's weird is that, in the games in which we score more than 10 runs, like we did, we scored 11 May 30th against the Cardinals. It was like you could tell the guys were hyped. It's like, this is going to be the turning point. We're about to round the corner. No. Nope. We're going to play 3 games and score 5 runs.
Yeah, you just expect the baseball team to kind of have its hot spots, and then also like this would be detrimental. Let's just say the Rangers decide to get hot. They just start playing really well, hitting wise, and then their pitching starts to fall apart.
I would
That would
love that.
be the law of baseball. That would be just like, oh, now we're not winning because now we can't pitch and we're hitting. So now we're losing 8-7 instead of 2-1.
But that would be amazing because it would show that our offense is finally back. And it would, and that's how we won in 23. The offense was there.
I like I said, finally back. Well, we'll see how it goes this week, but so far, so not so great. The last 2 weeks have been a struggle for the Rangers. Like we said, they were 2-4, and the previous week they were 3-3. I will, however, give them credit on the 3-3 week. They were plus 14 because they had that 11-1 win, which is a pretty big
And
deal for the
they
good old
scored another
Rangers.
8 runs and against the Cardinals as well.
hmm They had a really great series against the Cardinals, and I felt to your point, 11-1, you lose 0-2, you win 8-1, you feel like you're rounding around, and you're going to get there, and then you lose 4 in a row, and you have another non-offensive week. I can't imagine what the manager goes through. Like, this is why if a manager is
Yeah.
drinking in baseball, it makes a lot of sense because there's nothing you can do, and they've all said they've all said it. It's not like you can
Yeah.
tell them something. It's not like you can go, "Hey, Corey, hey." lay off the curveball. You're not. It's not your pitch. Everybody knows that. You can only chew so much gum and eat so many sunflowers before you're like, okay, now I got to go straight to the hard liquor cabinet. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah,
So
Bruce Bochy's an old man and he's seen everything, but he probably hasn't seen this. Say that much.
this is pretty remarkable. Well, 6.4 runs. The fact that this is the lowest it's ever been recorded. To your point, so Bruce has not seen it.
Yes. And there's been several times in which he's lost his temper in press conferences after games, which makes total sense. Your patience can only go so many months into a baseball season.
I would bring in a hypnotist to just introduce him to home plate. Or I would just take him out there and have him look at home plate and be like, visualize. I'm going to have you just run across it. Just run across it. Just visualize runs. We're just going to keep visualizing runs. And just don't even have your players do BP. Just have them run to home and be like, look at all the runs we're scoring. Doesn't this feel good when you cross home plate? This is what we want to do, everybody. This is the goal. We remember that, right? Because I wonder if the Rangers scored 2 runs, they go, good, we're fine. 2 runs, we got it. We scored the 2 runs first. We won. First 1 to 2.
My favorite is the announcers when they're like, and this Rangers offense, looking so far away from first base, such a long distance away. Teams are built on hope. The rebellion against the Empire is always built on hope, but maybe the Empire wins this time. Well, this is the not happy ending.
This is again. We'll see if they can turn around. You got them 4-2 this week. We'll see how they do. We'll touch base next week. Again, looking forward to your articles. And now that we're in the summer break, and you get to spend more time with the Rangers, good old quality Ranger offensive time. As always, I am your host for the Texas Ranger Weekly. That's our inside reporter, watching the Rangers every day. Sadly. Luckily, it doesn't take up a lot of his time, everybody.
Oh, yes.
Really quick. And so, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we look forward to talking with you on a weekly basis. As always, thanks so much.